This week, we have stories of imagination of maps by rats, how NASA is struggling to open the lid, and about AI and humans. So, in the first story, you must have heard about London taxi drivers and the need for them to remember some 25,000 streets before they get their license. This shows the immense capacity that the human brain has in remembering routes and maps. But is it a capacity that is limited to only the human brain, or are there other animals that can also visualize and imagine the world around them like we do? So, a recent study provides answers to some of these questions. In the study, rats were made to run on a spherical treadmill. Their movement on the treadmill created a specific pattern of brain activity, and this was because of the movement of the rats as they approached various target objects for which they were given rewards. So, next, these rats were taken off the treadmill, but they were shown the same virtual reality based environment. So, although there was no physical movement of the rats, still their brain created the same pattern of activity as when they reached out to various objects while they were on the treadmill. Although it is difficult to imagine what the rats would have been imagining, but this experiment does qualify as imagination in the rat brain. In another set of experiments called the JEDI experiments, the brain activity of the rats could move a box on a screen again when they were presented a virtual reality environment. Now, this study offers possibilities of understanding how we navigate our surroundings and also aiding individuals which have sensory deficits in moving around safely. Opening the lid. It took 7 years to bring back a part of the rock that has been around since the formation of our solar system, but now we are struggling to open its lock. Asteroids are fragments of matter that were left out of becoming a part of the planet as our solar system formed. So, a lot of information can thus be gathered by looking and investigating what these asteroids are made up of. They are also referred to as minor planets at times because some of them actually have their own moons and together they revolve around the sun, just like how planets do. So, asteroid Bennu, which is 4.5 billion years old, it passes Earth every 6 years. NASA's OSIRIS REx mission, which was sent 6 years back to the asteroid, it brought back samples from the surface of the asteroid Bennu in September. It was surprising that when the sample collector touched the surface of Bennu, dust particles enveloped the OSIRIS, which showed that the asteroid surface is not rocky as it was thought. Now, after the sample has been brought back to Earth, the only trouble that the NASA team is facing is how to open the lid of the capsule which contains pieces of the asteroid. Nature Journal has also asked their readers to send in suggestions of how they can stop their hiccups from the various traditional methods that have been used to do that, so that it can help the NASA team to open the lid of the capsule. You might wonder what could be the similarity between hiccups and the OSIRIS REx mission capsule, but for that you'll have to read on your own to find out. There is a symbology that is associated with the name Bennu, which was named by a 9-year-old kid. The word comes from Egyptian mythology, where Bennu is a bird similar to the Greek phoenix and is associated with rebirth. Now, because Bennu is been around since the time of creation of the solar system, that's why the name was used. It's also interesting that OSIRIS mission, which collected the sample from the surface, comes from another Egyptian mythological god called Osiris, which symbolizes life, creation, and resurrection. Now, we are hopeful that we're going to get a lot of information about the formation of the solar system from the pieces of the asteroid Bennu. There have been 2 recent summits on pushing forth the research around artificial intelligence. Both Joe Biden and Rishi Shonak initiated these summits, and the major corporates that are working in the field of AI were present there. They talked about how the need for innovation is there for AI, and a lot of funding has been allocated for carrying forward this research. But a group of researchers which had their parallel event, the AI Fringe event, talked about how there is a need of regulation because the companies who are doing research are not providing the data behind creation of the various AI models. So there is a need of bringing in social scientists to the table where the talks about ethics, transparency can be discussed. So we need a system in place via we can track how AI model is working, the kind of information that we are putting in, so that the output that comes out is safe, reliable. This becomes imperative in the case of where weather forecasting and disease prediction happens. So, Science Bagels will be back next week to provide you bagels of interesting findings of the last week.